Hi everyone, it's Sunday night here in Texas and it's probably about 7:30, and this is probably my 5th or 6th attempt at this video, so fingers crossed that this one I can make it through. A couple of the starts that didn't go well, I started, stumbled on a word, lost my train of thought, and then the one that I was really doing well on, my sister sent me a text, and frankly I don't know if it would have shown on the finished videotape or not, and I just didn't want to get 20 minutes in, 30 minutes videotaped and go back and look at it and it be something I wouldn't want to upload. So here I go again. Hopefully this will go well. Just thank you for everyone out there. I am just blown away at all of you stitchers out there across the world that have taken time to watch my videos, and I'm kind of keeping track of it, and I can tell that not only are some of the viewers looking at the most recent, they're going back and looking at some of the others, so that warms my heart. And I've had so many nice comments from people, not only here in the States, but, across the globe. And to me, that is just awesome. So thank you. I read every comment. I'm checking for them. I'm replying. And I just really thank you for taking the time, not only to watch, but also to comment. So thank you from the bottom of my heart. Okay. Today, earlier today I was thinking, okay, it's Sunday, it's been a week since my last video, what possibly could I share? And I didn't think I had much of anything, so I really had to put my thinking cap on, and what I've decided to do is to do some, show you what I did stitch on, talk about some of the purchases I made from Etsy on digital charts, and also I have some of my stash, and then a couple of tools that I thought I would share with you, that one that I found this weekend, and maybe also a couple of questions, get to know your stitcher type of thing. So who knows? Let's see how this goes. Well, I can tell you this week I stitched on one project, and it was a digital download that I purchased of Frida, the artist from the 50s that is very, she's an iconic artist. And on the pattern, it didn't come with a picture of the completed works, so I've got it on my iPad. I don't know if you're going to be able to see it. I think if I lean it somewhat towards me there, maybe you can see it. And it's not large whatsoever. I think it's 100 stitches across and 100 down, something that size. And I thought that would be really a good piece to start with. Plus there's some large areas of color, so you're not having to do the confetti and the parking, and which gets kind of cumbersome when I'm trying to get back on track on doing cross stitch. So I'll show you what I've done to date. I did start on it and had to frog it after 100 stitches, and here is my second attempt. And the reason why I ended up just deciding to frog it, and I was starting at just taking out a couple of stitches, and I just looked at it and I thought, I'm not going to be happy. So what I was finding, of course it was under a magnifying glass, but it just looked like the floss was not laying appropriately. I used a laying tool. I would, went really slowly so it wouldn't get all kinked up. And maybe that just is the way it looks under, magnifying glass. I don't know how much. I have a really cool lamp that I had for quilting from years ago. That's kind of like what the doctors use, the big round magnifying glass with the circular light around it. And under, seeing it from that depth, it just didn't look right. And I can't find the thread heaven that I bought. I tried some beeswax, didn't like how that was working. It just seemed to kind of clump up on the floss, and although it says it's not supposed to alter the color, it did seem to change for when you use the beeswax and floss that you did not. So didn't want to go that route. What is your trick? I'm using, it's a 14 count Ada. I've got 3 strands of DMC floss. And do you totally separate the 3 strands and then put them back together, make sure that they're all, laying, perfectly together? Do you twist it and then thread it? I'm really looking for any suggestions. It would help me a lot. One thing that I am incorporating in this, I watched, I can't recall who it was. It was showed a large piece, and you definitely could see from one page to the next, there was a difference that you could really see without a magnifying glass, that there was a change. And some of the suggestions that stitcher had gotten is that not to do, one half of the cross going in one direction, then go back and do the second, but to do a complete cross stitch and then move on to the next. So given that, it seems to be working. I did that 100 stitches, and then I did the next box around and going back and filling it in, and it really looks to be working out well. So I'm thinking that was good advice. And I had not thought of it till someone also had mentioned it, is when you have a piece that's rather large, and let's say it's black, and you don't have the floss from the same dye lot, and you can see it's not exact, and you can see this clump of a different color or different shade of black when you get to a new floss that's not from the same lot. So I was at Michael's and buying the floss for another digital download, and I don't have a picture of it, and this is not the exact picture of her, but I think if you see it, you'll know the one I'm talking about. It's this one, but the one I have, it's more, she's bending over and towards the front, not towards the side. But I think that will give you an idea of the photo I'm talking about. It's on posters. It's very noticeable by most people. Well, that had a huge amount of black floss in it, and I was at Michael's and pulling out all this, luckily they had a lot of black, and I grabbed a bunch and I pulled all the threads for that piece, and there were several that used quite a lot of the same color. So thank goodness I have an app on my phone, and of course you could do it with the camera where you can magnify the lot number on there. So luckily I found, I think it called for 10 things of black floss, and I ended up getting 12 just to make sure that I had enough to do that project. So that was another digital download. I've got some that I actually have in the patterns. When you download them, there is an actual picture of the finished piece, so I'll share those with you in a moment. But I kind of went overboard. Imagine that. I gotta have all the things, and of course, I found the Frida ones, and I think I purchased 4 or 5 of those. But let me just put in here that they were like $5, the majority of them. Some were at most $10. Found Frida, found Marilyn Monroe and Audrey Hepburn, and then I also found one for it's like a pop art pugs, and you know me and my pugs, so had to get that. What is kind of odd, I don't even know if I have it here with me. I don't know if I brought it. Let's see. No, I didn't. It's got 3 of the 4 pugs are really, you know, colorful pop art, like the Marilyn Monroe pop art picture by Andy Warhol, which I actually bought that one too. But they had one, the first one in the first square in the upper left, it's like the pug's normal color, you know, like a buff pug with no pop art to it. So it doesn't really look like it belongs. It's like a square peg and with a round hole. It just not gonna work for me. So I'm gonna have to come up with some kind of color options. It actually should be easy. The ears are one color, the coat is one color, and then around the muzzle is I think a lighter color than what the body is. And so I think I should be able to pull that together with not much difficulty. So anyway, if you have not checked out some of the digital possibilities, you know, the charts that you may like of your favorite icon or star, I was just surprised. I was actually shocked that I found anything. So recommend doing that if you actually want to know what shop it was that I got them from. Just leave me a comment and I'll go back and look. Okay, I'm going to start with some of my stash, and I don't think I had this last week. It's called Needle and Thread, and I saw this on someone's podcast, and or not podcast, Flosstube, and you know, I like primitives, and I think it's needle pulling thread is the name of it. Anyway, this was something you sent for and you actually get a pattern for, and there's also buttons. On this, I don't think it came with the DMC conversion. This had, you know, some of the specialized silk type threads, which I won't use. So what I plan to do is just try to visually match the color with what it would be for DMC. Secondly, I wanted to show you one of my Mirabilias, and I think you're getting to know me, but I bought several of these, and I'm 10 to 15 maybe. But this one I want to get the threads for. I don't know what the name of it. Oh, it's the Bliss Fairy. And there's several of the fairies out there, and but there's just something, the way she's sitting on this flower, that just, I love it. I did watch some of the Australian Flosstubes that went to the retreat, the Mirabilia retreat, and Nora Corbett, who is the designer of these, was actually there. And what's amazing is she's not a cross stitcher, and you know, her lovely designs, you know, I guess are paintings. I'm not sure if she uses what medium she uses. I think probably watercolor or color pencils to design them, but she was there and spent the 3 days with them, and everything that all the people that mentioned her in their Flosstube videos was that she was so genuine. She actually sat down and talked to each and every attendee, and I think there was like 70, and she just, it was really nice to see one of the well-known designers be there for, you know, their public, so to speak. And she would sign their patterns, and someone actually won one of the drawings, you know, that ended up being made into a pattern, and of course with his signature. So that was, boy, was she a lucky one there. Also, on one of the videos they had a link to actually a pattern that was made just for the Australia Mirabilia retreat, and it's a mermaid, and it says Australia, I believe, and it has the date, and it's free. So I jumped over there and downloaded it, and it's pretty simple. I know I'm probably not going with the trend, but I don't know if I want to add all the beads to all these. I may try to convert some of the beading to actually DMC floss. Not real sure. I haven't done one, so maybe all those out there, anyone that's watching, if you've done a Mirabilia and not done the Mill Hill beads, how does it turn out? Is it something you're pleased with at the end? I'd like to know. Okay, moving on. Here are some of the Heaven and Earth design patterns that I've gotten, and this first one is artwork by Hannah Lynn, and it's Punch of Girls 10. I guess she's number 10, and I think her name is, I call her Tattoo Girl, but I don't know if you can see that, but it's mainly black and white and a little bit of color, but I really liked it. I do think I'm going to possibly give her hazel eyes. I have hazel eyes. One of my daughters does also, and I can get some of the flosses, the colors from some of the other Heaven and Earth designs from some of the artists. I think it's probably from a Hannah Beckett Griffin, or Griffin Beckett. Okay, Jasmine Beckett Griffith. There, I got it. I know I mentioned on, I think, the first video, that one that I had also bought was called, it's a mini, and it's Becoming Brave. And I actually saw a completed work. Someone had worked over a year, maybe probably more, and it was unbelievable. So I bought that one. Then another one that I actually have on a frame, and all the flosses purchased for, it's by Jasmine Beckett Griffith, and it's Alice Descending, Alice in Wonderland, and I'll get it up there. And what's really wild about it is it's not very wide, but it's really long, and I just think that is just so cool. I actually think, although I think I even maybe did a little drawing on here, and we'll probably put some black Mary Janes on her. I think it just has the stockings kind of going down with no actual shoes on it. So I think I would like it better with some shoes, so that's what I think I'll do. Another Heaven and Earth design pattern that I bought is called Hug a Pug, and this thing is huge. I don't know if I'll ever get to it, but I had to certainly buy it. And what I was really surprised at is that you know, if you catch a sale, you can almost get them half price, and that's, you know, when to buy them. They're reasonably priced. I do the downloads, you know, have them if I ever want to do them. I actually have 3 different patterns for pugs, and I couldn't find one called Abstract Pugs. And this is Pug Love by Dean Russo, and I actually bought the kit for this, and it comes with all the flosses, and I believe he's located over in the UK, So it does take a little bit of time to arrive, but all the flosses are provided. It's not the cheapest kit out there, but anyway, it's I think a lovely abstract of a pug, so it was worth the money. And I think I got that for myself for happy birthday to me. One that I'm gonna go through some kits that I have, and I haven't done them, but did find them, and this one that I'm going to show you first came from Hobby Lobby, and I got it with the 40% off coupon. Originally, I think, if I can see appropriately, it's $55, so you'd have to figure it out. But it's a Mickey Mouse, and there's some half stitches and some really cool things to, I think you even do, I don't know, it's a little bit more difficult. This is called Fantasia, and again, it's this one. And what I didn't realize, I bought one other. I went on Amazon looking for another, what other ones they may have an offer, and I don't know if I bought it off of Amazon or just someone I found on the web, but it's a Peter Pan. I can't find the kit to pull together. It's around here somewhere, but this is the actual painting that it is about, and it has like London at a, you know, down below, and you know, probably the River Thames, and I don't know, it just was really different. And I actually had a calendar of all these paintings, and they're by Thomas Kincaid, I believe. Yeah, Thomas Kincaid. And this is from, what, 2016. I had it and didn't even know it. So those are two kits that I have. When I get a little bit, you know, more, get back in the groove of doing a difficult chart. I've never done anything that difficult, so I think I need to put it off for a little bit. Again, here's another one. It's a dimensions kit. I don't have the name of it, but I thought it was really awesome, and I'd bought it once and returned it because I just thought it would be too difficult for me to do, but it was on sale, like extremely on sale. I think they normally went for like in the 40s or $50, and I could get it for like $14. So I bought it, and there was another one with a blonde female, somewhat, you know, in the same spirit of that, with a polar bear, and with like Aurora Borealis behind her. Anyway, so when I get more skilled at this, you know, I have that ready to go. And here's the last thing I'm going to show you as a kit. I don't think I've shown it to you before. I found it in the clearance aisle at Hobby Lobby, and I like coffee and I like tea, and this just looked like a fun kit to do. It looks like it was originally about $27.99, and I got it for $10. I don't know if you can see it. And it's by Wingart. That's probably not pronounced. And it's by Artista. Just in case this is something you'd like to do. I'm getting a glare. But it has all different type of scenes. It has some teacups. It has some, I suppose, a tea tin. I don't know. It just looked well worth $10. So I'm not one of these people that I have to buy one thing and then complete it before I buy another. I would never get another thing. As I said, I think in my first Flosstube video, it's not really about the completed product. I like the process, and I am the type of artist, so to speak. It goes to quilting or watercolor or anything I may be doing. I have to feel like I want to do it. I have to be moved by it. I'm a very visual person, and so I really can't force it. I gotta have a variety of options, and then go with whatever I'm feel like doing. So I've got some of the patterns that I got of eBay that I'm going to show you, and then one other that is the Pick to Pat, and I don't think I shared with you last week, so I'm going to share it this week. But first, these next three are of Frida, and I got this chart, and this one, and there's one more, and actually I've got more than these, but this is what I'll show you today. And there's one that I bought that Frida always had the beautiful colorful flowers in her hair, and there was one that I found that looked very cheerful and colorful, and unfortunately I don't have a photo of it right here with me. I'll share it with you in another Flosstube video. Okay, moving on. This is a Pick to Pat, and again it's like picture and the number 2 and then Pat, so PIC, the number 2, and Pat, PAT.com. And it's actually where you can take a photo and it will convert it into a cross stitch chart, which is amazing. The second thing that makes it amazing is it's free. So I had a art journal page that I had done, and I had taken a Juliet Crane, I believe is her name, course, and it was just with black India ink. So when I show this, it's going to be one page is really colorful, and the other one is basically black and white. But I just love that little guy and the tree. And I don't know if I'm going to do it as one piece or just do my little fella there by himself. But I bought the floss in case I wanted to do the whole thing, and I don't know, he just makes me smile. Okay, what else do I want to share with you? Oh, let's go for tools. Of course, you know me, I'm watching the Flosstube videos, and people are sharing things, and many people store their flosses for a project differently. Most people, I think, put them on a DMC spool and have them like on a little ring. For some of these Heaven and Earth designs, I mean, it's almost 90 spools to do, and I don't think I'm going to do it that way. I just, with so many different projects going, I don't think it's feasible. I found these, I think, at Hobby Lobby, and it's where you can put them on a card, and there's a white area where you could put what the symbol is on the pattern. And this next item, it's a floss organizer, and it's by Payco. And you can see over here, they've actually shown how the floss is on there, and then they have little boxes on this piece of paper where you actually put the symbol that it is for the pattern. And it will hold, how many? I'm thinking 50. I'd have to count them. I'm pretty sure there's room for 50. and it comes with 10 of the paper symbol piece thing. Anyway, found it, the only one I could find. They only had one on eBay, but definitely it was worth the cost of it to see if it's a good way to have your floss. What I'm doing right now is I just have all the DMC floss in a Ziploc bag, and then when I pull it out, you know, whatever, you know, color I need, and then if I have leftover, I just would tie it to the end of the you know, to the end, like up here. I haven't gotten that far into a piece, so that might not work out so well, but that's the idea. Okay, I think I'm going pretty fast on this. So the next thing I'm going to show you, I think, needs a little bit of background to it. In college, my first year of college, I went to Tyler Junior College, and I was in drill team. In high school, I was an officer, and I went and tried out and made the internationally famous Apache Belles, and they were established in '47. So the year I was there, it was actually the 30th anniversary, and now this year it is the 40th. I mean, it's 70th anniversary, so it's been 40 years. So that is just crazy. But what's cool, I know a lot of you that don't live in Texas, and of course like those that aren't in the States probably don't even know what a drill team is. There's two major drill teams that are in college that are pretty internationally known, the Apache Belles and Kilgore Rangerettes. What's incredible is that the two colleges and the two drill teams are probably 30 miles apart. So, and both in Texas, obviously. So I bought something, the Apache Belles, of course, they're the Apaches, and you know, their motto is feathers up, you know, means the pride in the school, and you know, whatever you're doing and your support of each other, feathers up. And I'll show you what I got, but first I wanted to show you there's a Texas cheerleader book, and they actually have the Apache Belles in there. That was probably back from probably the 50s, and I marked some the Apache Belles were even in, I think, a David Bowie or someone's music video. And I'm back behind here. That was, this costume was not what we wore back when I was in an Apache Belle. And then also what is cool, the Apache Belles have met many of the presidents. I performed at Super Bowl 12 before they became these big mega productions. The Apache Belles performed at the Cowboy Games, the Dallas Cowboy Games, and so we got to go to New Orleans, and it was the Dallas-Denver game, and Dallas won, so that was even more exciting. But back prior to my time, probably in line 20, 21, here's this picture from, I don't know, it's probably one of the bowl games, like the Sugar Bowl, and they actually made the, I think it was either the magazine, Time Magazine, I think is the magazine it was. So you can Google it, Yahoo it. You can go to my Facebook page, and certainly in my photos you're going to see many pictures of current day Belles. I'm an alum, and it's really a super group of gals. And you know, back in my day, it was more high kicking and that type of precision dancing. And now the young girls, ladies, are just fabulous dancers. You can find them on some of their spring shows or on YouTube. So it's Apache Belles, and it's just incredible. They are remarkable. But as I said, they were established in 47. So, and they used to have lines were lined. So I'm line 31, and this year's line that they're trying out for, that one group auditions already occurred and another's in June, and that will be line 71. So here is a picture from back in the early days, and then that is probably from the 90s. So I've got one more picture, and one of the girls that was on my line at the same year we were in the tryouts together, she has a book out because of him. But in here, you know, what Apache Belles are really known for are their high kick performances, and I love a good high kick. I think it's something that doesn't get out of your blood. It just makes my heart start racing. I love high school bands. I love college bands. I love drill teams. And my daughters didn't go the route of drill team. I think by the time they were in high school, at their school particularly, it wasn't, drill team was not as popular, and they were cheerleaders. And my little Jen, who was also a gymnast, and I think she won state at level 6, you know, she was not only a cheerleader, she was on for a high school, she was on a competitive team that won the national title. So she was pretty driven, and she chose, in fact, not to be a cheerleader for 1 year during high school so that she could focus on this competition team, and she had her eyes on the national title. So she was able to make that dream come true. And again, if you're on my Facebook or find me on Instagram, you'll certainly see pictures of them. I'm very proud of them. And I think the only thing I have is maybe a couple of questions and to know me better. I don't know that it's that fun, so if you aren't interested, certainly you don't have to hang around. One of the questions that I found was, do you have any nicknames? And I have one. I had one that was in high school, and it's Di, which makes sense. My name's Diane. But what is really kind of funny is people who call me Di, you know, are people I really know. When someone I don't know that well calls me Di, it just seems odd. It's just something in me, but it's really kind of funny. What are my favorite clothes to wear? And I would have to say jeans. I'm in jeans every day, and you could bury me in jeans, a blue jean shirt, a white shirt. Wear a lot of black dresses and tights and boots, and but basically I am most comfortable in casual jeans. And I think you always notice that, you know, I have on pearls, but I don't know if you can see. I always, what I call the Holy Trinity for me, other than the real Holy Trinity, is turquoise, pearls, and sterling silver. So those are my favorite, and have pretty much been that way since I was probably in my teens, early teens. I've always loved pearls and silver and turquoise. So that's what I would have to say about that. And let me see, what else can I tell you about? One of my favorite shows that I watch, I think I've said I listen to a lot of audiobooks. I've got Hulu, I've got Netflix, I've got where I can watch CVS and ABC. There's one other, Feeling from, I think it's a Hallmark, but I like Grey's Anatomy, NCIS, CSI, Dancing with the Stars. This year, or this season's most recent one, the one that's going on now, for some reason it hasn't just totally captured me. But for the most part, I am watching it, I'm voting, and anyway, I haven't watched the last couple of episodes, so I'll have to do some catching up. I think that's enough for today, but I appreciate you if you're still watching, and have a wonderful stitchy week. And since I'm from Texas, I think my tagline, inline, is going to be happy trails, happy stitching. Bye.